piece of litigation.
They got a knockdown for 3
Derek may read this before he leaves tonight. And after the offer he made earlier on, he might be quite happy to read it. I wrote this down because...
You can't remember.
Yes, because I can't remember.
That's right.
I wrote it down because I had to try and recall why I was asked to do this. I understand from the committee that I made a very good speech at the 40th anniversary. I have no recollection of that. And all I can say is that people were quite pleasant to me when I came in tonight. So I obviously didn't insult anyone.
And you're going to do that tonight, are you?
From a starting point, I'd like to say there are a number of people in this room I would be very happy to insult. I am not choosing to insult anybody at this point in time.
In this point in time?
At this point in time.
Thank you, David.
Now, I'd also say I'm most regretful that I offered to do this at all.
Come on,
I think I might stop.
Don't be shy.
Let me go on. Let me go on. You're right, Michael. The question is, what is Belvedere? And I read in a series of books and pieces and whatever else that the schoolboys used the old, what do they call it, catechism about purgatory. And they said in that, and it's worth noting, they said, Belvedere is a place or state of punishment where Jesuits suffer for a time until they go to Cloncos. Let me tell you, I'm not unemployed at this point in time.
Thank God.
And in fact, I'm currently, and you might be astonished at this.
We are.
And you may blame Derek for this.
We do.
I'm involved
Or worse.
in the conservation and repair of the house.
Which are here.
Which one?
Belvedere. A number of Blackrock College boys tried to get the job. But they did turn them down. Anyway, to tell you a few little bits of past history, because we were obliged to find out things about the place. And it is quite remarkable. And it is our place. The college acquired it in 1841 for the astonishing sum of £1,800.
I'd buy it.
That's particular because it was built in 1786 by a man called Lord Belvedere for the princely sum of £24,000. So all I can suggest is that Nama was there. SJ. The house itself, we never got to see these treasures. And I'd have to say two things. We never saw the priests pray. That's very unusual, because if you went to the Franciscans, or if you went to any other order of priests, the Benedictines, whatever, you would see them pray. But the Jesuits never prayed collectively.
They were called soldiers.
Well, it's an interesting one, and I'm not bringing it up as a challenge to them, but it's a fact of life. But the house, and let me tell you about the house. The house is remarkable, and it has the most astonishing collection of ceilings by Michael Stapleton, which are bar none, and it is a collection of fireplaces and all sorts of remarkable things in it. And they're on the first floor in the main, and never did we ever get to see the first floor. But I'm hoping that for the 60th anniversary,
That's a lot of things.
which will presumably have less guests than we have tonight, there might be enough room to have dinner up there. Anyway,
Maybe won't be more, David.
there was one particular point I wanted to tell you about. There's a Venus room. And the Venus room has at its centre a most remarkable depiction, originally, of Venus, Eric, which had to be removed. And in fact, I believe it's now in the National Gallery. It would compare with any tabloid page 3. And I gather a lot of boys went blind as a result of their viewings of this. But whatever about that, and they say it could have been a major influence on a number of James Joyce's later writings too. We're hoping to put it back in place as part of the current works. And as I say, when you hit 60th out, you can lie and watch. Just to tell you a little bit about the school, because Derek and Donald are familiar with these things. I am horrified. I've been up there in recent times, and the place is full of women. And all I can say is that in our days, we never saw a woman on the premises.
Weren't allowed to go.
And it's, I mean, I love women, but my God, there's an awful lot of them around the place.
There was the
Anyway,
Not good rugby coaches.
I mean, it's just changed. And the parlour at the front, there were a queue of boys outside. And I said to one of them, "Are you waiting to be beaten here now?" And he just ignored me. And there was a bit of sniggering, you know. You know, I think of my days and sniggering. I remember an infamous occasion when some boy threw a brassiere over a flex in a schoolroom.
I think that's scrum cap over here.
And one of the priests said, "Get the scrum cap down." It was a near riot because we knew it was a brassiere. But anyway, I just more briefly and more particularly, because I'm looking at so many friends I have here and so many people I have really enjoyed meeting again. I'd have to say that when I went to Belvedere, I fell among thieves. And that's, you know, and it was a source of the most wonderful friendship and fun. And that's what I remember about it. Even 50 years ago, it's what I remember so particularly about it. And about, you know, Bender even. Everyone, you know, even the most peculiar people were gas. And we learned so much from those friendships, you know, creative things like drinking and smoking, and women, you know, talking about women we nearly knew or might have known, could have known. The Bonner, cigarettes for tuppence each. Fantastic, amazing things in life, you know, that never left us. Now, I'm on my last page. I know there's a level of incontinence here, so if anybody wants to get up and go to the lavatory, you're excused. You don't have to ask permission. Now, just finishing off on that sort of note about women and drink and so on, I want to get around to 63, because that was when we finally left. And what a year.
No, David, we didn't leave, we got fucked out.
Well, we did. But Philip Larkin, the great English poet laureate, commemorated it. He said, sexual intercourse began in 1963 between the end of the Chatterley Ban and the Beatles' first LP. On a serious side, this is really on a serious side, and this is nearly the end. I want to express my gratitude to some of the most marvellous teachers we had, and it's terrific to see John here. And, I've told John on too many occasions in the past what a great man I think he is, and I still hold him in the highest regard. And I think there were other particular people who, I mean, you can't go into a list, but I do want to mention another man who I know was particular to us all, and that was Mixer. Our spiritual director. Who was he? Our spiritual director was a great man for a free cigarette. But he was also the soul of goodness and kindness. And how can one say more? I don't want to go on about that, but I do want to relate one particular thing. There was a Father Jack Leonard who arrived in our latter year or two. And my friend, Mr. Reddy, who isn't here tonight, recalls a wonderful story about a man who was in his year, who must remain unmentioned for a variety of reasons, who qualified as an accountant. I mean, that in itself was unfortunate, but he did. And he met Jack Leonard in Grafton Street 10 years after he left Belvedere. And Leonard said, whatever you're called, what are you at now? And he said, oh, Father, I'm very pleased to see you. I'm an accountant now. And Leonard said, turf, I presume. I'm on the last page, and it's only a half page. I have to say, there were a lot of things that happened when I was in school that don't bear mentioning. But I'd also have to say that there were very many happy times. And looking around the room, I can see some of my dearest and best friends within this room, and that is a very particular and very great pleasure to me. And I want to thank the school for all it did for me. I want to say here openly that my compliment was that I did choose to send my children to Gonzaga. Mind you, I did save a lot of money on transportation and bus fare in doing that, but it was still a consideration of a Jesuit education. I'd like to propose a toast to my fellow jubilarians. And Donald has raised this issue, and he was the first person I heard refer to us as jubilarians. Jubilarians. We're jubilarians. And I want to wish you a happy and continent future.